So we have some time this weekend because I don't have anything made for this weekend. E3 is coming up, Bethesda's presentation, but I don't have Skyrim and I don't have Fallout 4 ready. It has been a very busy week for me. And so I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I don't have those videos made, and we're going to take a walk through Daggerfall. Oh, let's see. Where should we be from? Let's, of course, go with Khajiit. Khajiit hail from the province of Elsewhere. You are part of a tawny-skinned people, extremely hardy, intelligent, and agile. Many Khajiit have taken to painting their faces to more resemble their legendary feline cousins, the predatory cats that hunt the great desert. Khajiit are on the whole excellent climbers and adept in all the arts of the thief. Is your character to be a Khajiit? Yes, and we will be male. Now, here's where I want to talk a little bit about Bethesda's games. So I think, I can't remember if you are allowed to go back from generation and say, nope, you know what, I want to do this all over again. But let's, for fun, take a look at generation the old-fashioned way. So this was actually common in older games. Ultima did it. It was the first time I'd ever seen it. And, of course, it carried on through the Elder Scrolls up until, well, Oblivion was the first one not to do it. A good friend of yours is in love with a girl from a neighboring village, a girl who barely knows him. He is extremely shy and inexperienced, and he pleads for your help. Would you suggest he, A, go to her immediately and declare his love? If the relationship is to be, he needs to be honest from the start. You offer to accompany him to the village for support. B, find out more about this girl using any contact he can find in her village. He will not be so shy if he knows something about her, and he may even find out she is not the right girl for him. C, let you help him write anonymous love letters and poems to see her reaction without needing to face her directly. If the reaction is favorable, he can talk to her friends in the village and arrange an accidental meeting. Oh, you know what? My answer over the years has changed to that, and currently my answer would be go up and talk to her. The senior student in your weapons class has trounced you unmercifully for the past several years. Today is the tournament of students, and you find with dismay that you are paired against him for your first match. As you prepare, your friend approaches and offers to tell you of an injury the senior student suffered in yesterday's sparring class, which you missed. Do you? A, accept the offer, knowing that it would allow you to concentrate on the injured area and greatly increase your chances of beating him. B, refuse the offer, knowing that, win or lose, you would rather do it your own skill and not some extra knowledge in what should be a fair and honorable fight. C, accept the offer, reasoning that it is better to have the knowledge in case you need it, and realizing that having the knowledge does not necessarily mean using it. So I would probably go with C. And that gives us a hit of mage. So we've got a hit of warrior and a hit of mage. So because you expressed interest, your arms master told you a few hints about recognizing magical weaponry. Later, you are practicing archery with a few friends. One boy, who was never a strong archer, has become something of a sharpshooter. You suddenly realize that he is using magical arrows. What do you do? A, tell the others about the arrows. In a friendly archery match, using magical arrows is cheating. Tell your friend you noticed that he was using magical arrows, and if he doesn't get you some, you'll tell the arms master and the others the reason behind his improvement. C, say nothing. If you have a need for magical arrows, you can always mention something to him later. After all, magic is not really a cheat. It's a different skill. I'm going to go with C because it leaves us the option to do something later. It's probably going to be mage. Yep. While exploring the woods with two other adventurers, you come across a small abandoned hut that seems to have once belonged to a mage. Looking through the window, you see the remains of a laboratory, many potions and scrolls still on the shelves. Gyotina, who thinks you are a cowardly sort, suggests breaking into the shack and exploring. Another fighter named Hunard suggests going to town to find out more information. You advise going into town. They are more familiar with the area and may have important information about this hut and the surrounding area. B, breaking into the shack, but leaving one person on the outside in case something goes wrong. You should investigate new things, not run away from them. C, daring Gotina to go in first. Strangely phrased. Anyway, if there is a trap, she can trip it. Then you and Hunard can go in and explore at your leisure. If it was a normal shack, I'd just go in. But you know what? I'm going to say go into town to get more information. Another hit of mage. While in town, the baker gives you a sweet roll. Delighted, you take it into an alley to enjoy, only to be intercepted by a gang of 3 other kids your age. The leader demands the sweet roll, or else he and his friends will beat you and take it. Do you A, drop the sweet roll and step on it, then get ready for a fight? B, give him the sweet roll now without argument, knowing that later this afternoon you will have all your friends with you and you can come and take whatever he owes you? C, act like you're going to give him the sweet roll, but at the last minute throw it in the air, hoping that they'll pay attention to it long enough for you to get in a shot on the leader. A, I would throw it on the ground and get ready for a fight. One night after Tales and Talos, you look at the hoard of treats you have collected and find lots of brandied plums, a treat you particularly dislike. You know your younger cousin likes them. Do you? A, give her all your brandied plums. B, trade the brandied plums for something she does not really like, but you do. C, pretend that they are excellent brandied plums and see if she will give up something really good in exchange. I'd probably go B, just a straight trade. Oh, I'm really going down the mage route. Anyway, you have a great-aunt and a great-uncle living in 2 different nearby villages, both of whom have asked your father to allow you to live with them for a few weeks. Your father knows where he plans to send you, but he is curious about your opinion. Given the choice, would you rather A, live with your great-aunt, a wise old woman of considerable wealth? Living in luxury for a few weeks could not only be enlightening, could also be very interesting. B, live with your great-uncle, a sick old man who has always been something of a stranger to you. A few weeks with him may be arduous, but he is in more need of your help than your great-aunt. C, think of a way to divide your time between your great-aunt and great-uncle. Perhaps you will not be able to spend as much time with either as much as you would like, but neither would be left out. I would go with C. Your arms master, during a lesson on strategy, remarks, the best of victory is to completely and totally humiliate your opponent. He then turns to you and asks you if you agree with him. You know the arms master has been in numerous life and death conflicts and has the experience of a seasoned warrior. Do you, A, agree with his remark, knowing that at this moment your experience is not enough to justify any stance, but total agreement with whatever your arms master says, a man who has dedicated his life to strategy? B, disagree with his remark, reasoning that it must be some type of test, and that the truth will only come from opposition with his opinion and not sheep-like agreement. C, refuse to answer the question, choosing to withhold an opinion until you have more experience and can converse on the subject in an intelligent manner. Well, being young, what would I do? I have to think back that way. I have to think back that way now. I wouldn't agree with anyone outright. I might disagree thinking it was a trap, though. I wouldn't refuse, so I would go disagree. And my first thief point. Huzzah. Your father and you are returning from the town market when you see a small boy running from a store. In his hands, he clutches a loaf of bread. Behind him races the baker with a cleaver in his hands. You know that the boy must be hungry, but the town is suffering from a drought, which has made food valuable. Do you side with justice and urge your father to stop the boy? Help the poor waif by running into the baker's way. Stand out of the way and wait to see what your father decides, trusting his experience. I might probably trip in front of the baker. Othissa, a friend, has been beaten by a boy several years older than either you or her. She asks for your help. Are you more inclined to gather a bunch of friends together and ambush the boy, teaching him a lesson about bullying, B. Tell Athissa to avoid the bully, no reason to make things worse than they are. C. Challenge the older boy, knowing that you will probably take a beating, but confident that if you do it enough times, he will move on to pick someone who is an easier target. Well, I think Athissa would probably want to help beat the bully down, so I'm going to go with A and gather a bunch of friends. Rogues. It's chosen me to be a rogue. Rogues are trained in both the shadowy arts of the thief and the combat arts of the warrior. The rogue relies on these skills most heavily: long blade stealth, dodging, pickpocketing, backstabbing, and street wisdom. Do you wish your character to be a rogue? Which is really weird because I think I had more mage than anything else, but I could be wrong. And no, we're going to say no. So let's see what other choices we have. Custom. Let's see what custom. What can we do with custom? This could be dangerous. Oh, yeah. See how I said this could be dangerous? See, one of the illusions people have is that there are more skills in other of the Elder Scrolls, but as you might notice, there are quite a few in Daggerfall. I honestly don't know which has the most between this or Morrowind, but alteration, archery, axe, backstabbing, blunt weapon, centaurian, climbing, critical strike, daedric, destruction, dodging, dragonish, etiquette, giantish, hand-to-hand, harpy, illusion, impish, jumping, lockpicking, longblade, medical, mercantile, mysticism, nymph, orcish, pickpocket, restoration, running, shortblade, spriggan, stealth, streetwise swimming, and thaumaturgy. That is quite a lot of skills. They didn't introduce the idea of a great number of skills in Morrowind. It actually comes out of Daggerfall. Daggerfall got a really bad rap because, well, it had some issues. A lot of people were trying to, as they do these days, run it on a toaster, and that didn't work out. It was buggy. It tried to create random dungeons, which could really screw up your experience because you could not be able to complete one of them because it made an error in creation. But there was a sense of exploration in the creation of Daggerfall that I don't think is ever met again. And it would be impossible for me to convince you of that probably at this point, just looking at these skills. Just on a cursory basis, let's see, what do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 at Daedric, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 at Harpy, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 at Mysticism, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33 at Streetwise, 35 skills, and the end. I actually honestly don't know between Morrowind and Daggerfall which one has more, but this is still a lot. And some of them, as you notice, have some really fascinating names. Like, you know, Daedric, I'm guessing, is a language. I'm guessing like Centaurian, Daedric, Harpy, these are languages, giantish. But etiquette. And what is the other one? Streetwise. There are some really interesting skills in Daggerfall. I do not know if I could whip up anything interesting, but let's see. Let's go with... let's go with... where did it go? Longblade. Where did it go? Oh, we were picking minor skills, were we? No, that's not what we wanted to do. Can we move that up here? No, it's already gone. So, how do we don't get out of it that way. Okay, so, important safety tip. Stealth, let's put stealth up there. Let's get Longblade into something different. May have to actually come back and let's put blunt weapon. Skeletons, you know, sometimes you need things like that. Let's go with long blade up here now that we've gotten it out of there. And stealth long blade. I wonder what streetwise is, honestly. Nothing showing. So, what about lockpicking? There it is. Lockpicking. Okay, so I'm a thief. Now, here, let's go with climbing. Critical strike. And, oh, let's see, alteration. And blunt weapon here, down here, we want mysticism. Let's throw pickpocket in there somewhere, just for fun. Backstabbing, sure, why not? And running, run away. Medical probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Hand to hand. I have not made a character like this in Daggerfall in, 21 years? So, yeah. Don't really know. Axe, no. Archery, we're going to try staying away from being an archer. Just to do something different. Mercantile. Mercantile, or... Let's try streetwise. Oh, we have one more. So then we're going to go mercantile. Because we want some money. Okay, skill advancement for class, average. What does this do for us? I don't know. Max hit points per level. Oh. Okay, let's do that. What do we got here? So we just start out basically at 50s across the board. What does this do? Current special abilities, add special abilities, acute hearing, adrenaline rush, athleticism, bonus to hit, expertise and immunity, increased magery, rapid healing, regenerate health, resistance, spell absorption. Yeah, remember when I said I wasn't sure which one of the two was more complicated? You can scratch that. I'm positive now which one it is. And it is definitely Daggerfall. Acute hearing, because it sounds like fun. What else? I wonder what this is going to cost us. It has to cost us something. I wonder what expertise in. Oh, look at that. Okay, expertise in long blade. Let's bounce out of that. What happened? Anything? Edit special disadvantages. What do we have here? Critical weakness, damage, phobia. Crazy. And edit reputations. Merchants, peasants, scholars, nobility, and underworld. You must distribute points, but we only have 0, so no biggie there. I could pull points out of somewhere else, but you know what? Let's just be average. What will we call ourselves? We will call ourselves, how about something original like a shadow? Enter. And exit. Now what is this? Fast start by automatically generating your character's background. You will be able to adjust starting attributes and skills within the character sheet. Choose your character's career path by answering 12 important career decisions. Let's try that because it sounds like fun. You have a certain degree of training with I thought that said axe fishing for a second, and I was going to really just fall in love with Daggerfall all over again. Okay. What thieving skill have you been studying the longest? Probably pickpocketing. What motivates you into a life of adventure? Fun. Your preferred criminal method is, I would say, cat burglary. Convenient that. Given your choice of reward, you would most likely choose... Oh, good gracious me, an ebony dagger. One of the most important survival skills you've picked up was how to mend simple wounds, boss people around, fight with a knife, ingratiate yourself, or haggle with merchants. This is probably like some sort of intimidation. This might be some kind of persuasion. I kind of like persuasion. Let's go with that. You were an active child, something than anyone else your age. Faster, a better climber, a better brawler, sneakier, or a better swimmer. Usually I would pick sneakier, but I'm going to go with faster. You can get most of the things you want by stealing from... ... I know the answer to this. Diversified merchants. The one skill you could not work without must be lockpicking. As a child, your nickname was Rabbit, Guppy, Quicksilver, Scrapper, or Monkey, which probably agility. Let's see, agility. I would say both of those were speed. Some sort of brawling or endurance, maybe Guppy. Swimming? Let's go with Quicksilver. I like it. What god, if any, do you worship? None. Zenithar, god of commerce. Dibella, god of beauty. Akatosh, god of time. Kinnereth, goddess of air. Arche, birth and death god. Mara, the mother goddess. Julianos, god of logic. Or Stendar, god of mercy. Back to the 8. I don't know the answer to that. I don't have any idea, honestly, what benefits or disadvantages may come with this. But I like the idea of a god of time. So your frail health as a child has made you less resistant to poison, easily tired, less resistant to disease, or less resistant to magic. Ooh, none of those sound particularly like fun. But of all of them, I'm thinking poison is probably the easiest to deal with. Your reputation have changed as followed. Unchanged with everyone. Name thyself. Checkers, call thyself and go forward. Okay, now we get to pick a face for this new checkers, and I think that will do nicely. Okay. We have 6 whole points to spend, and actually didn't come out too badly. Let's see. I would probably... They're in a different order than they were in Arena. You know, I'm really tempted to just kick that to 60. And that. And probably this. I'm kind of surprised that speed is only 54 with all of that. And we will dump 1 into luck. And because we don't want to spend all this time just re-rolling, we will say, okay, now put 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. And let's see here, let's put, I'm going to put 4 into critical strike. And 1 each in the other 2. And, streetwise, let's give ourselves that. A couple points in pickpocketing. And mysticism and mercantile will leave blunt weapons to languish. Say, okay. Player reflexes determine the overall speed of the game. If you pick very high reflexes, the monsters will move and attack quickly. Forcing you to be quick with the control's very low reflexes means the monsters will move and attack slowly, allowing you to adopt a more cautious, thoughtful playstyle. Your character will advance a little slower with a little lower reflex setting, and will advance a little faster with a higher reflex setting. I seemed to at least manage high. I'm a little terrified of very high, mainly because the computer moves so much more quickly than it used to in the old days. So we will say okay and brace ourselves for what's to come, because it might be loud. If it is loud, I will edit this and try and quiet it down. Here we go.
400 years after Tiberseptimus' reign, the beginning will meet the end, and the bloody circle will close at the Empire of Tamriel. The unworthy heirs of the Septim dynasty have allowed the bonds of the Empire to weaken and crack. Uriel Septim, the Seventh, cannot repair what his ancestors ignored. The provinces fight among themselves like neglected children, drunk with rebellion, and one indomitable power hides itself, but not forever.
The Imperial Palace, seat of Emperor Uriel Septim VII, midnight.
Excuse the gloom, but none may know of this meeting. The nature of my trouble is darker still. Over a year ago, King Lysandus of Daggerfall died honorably on the field of battle. He was as loyal a subject, ally, and friend as you are.
I am?
I did grieve for him.
I am.
But his spirit does not rest. With a spectral army, he haunts his former kingdom, crying for revenge. I do not know why a good and loyal man would be so cursed. Perhaps you can find the answer and close the marble jaws of oblivion, bringing peace to his soul. I ask this as your emperor and your friend.
I'm friends with the Emperor?
I have one lesser request.
Shoot.
Several years ago, I wrote a letter to the Queen of Daggerfall.
Uh-huh.
It never arrived.
Uh-oh. What did you write?
The letter was of a sentimental and personal nature.
You were sexting her.
If you find and destroy that letter, I will be grateful.
Okay.
Now, my champion, rest well this night, for tomorrow you sail for the kingdom of Daggerfall.
Well, okay then. Sound quality, not the best. You wake and look around the room. Some hours ago you were in a boat en route to Daggerfall when a storm of supernatural strength boiled over the Iliac Bay like a malefic creature. Your boat was destroyed, but you managed to swim through the churning water to a promontory rock. There you found a cave and escaped the fury of the storm. You had only just lit a small fire when a mudslide sealed you within. Your fear of being buried alive calmed when you saw the corridor leading out of the cavern. Perhaps there is a way out of the cave after all. Once free of the cave, you can begin the Emperor's quest. Dun dun dun. The Elder Scrolls Daggerfall has a tutorial that can be active during the game. It runs throughout this first dungeon and for a short time afterward. Yeah, you know what? Let's use it. Tutorial Lesson 1. The very first thing you want to do is experiment with moving your character around. Don't worry about monsters. There are none in this first room. When this text clears, move the cursor around the screen. You'll see it change shape. Hold down the left mouse button and watch what happens. If you are using the view-based interface, it will change where you are looking. Hint, the closer the arrow is to the edge of the screen, the faster you will move. I'll be back in about 1 minute to tell you about arming yourself and fighting monsters. So this is this. You can press the left button and kind of do that. But what we need to do is come here and haul down some of the sound, because it does get a bit excessive. We can't push it down too far because it distorts like crazy and it would hurt your ears. We will save and go here for now. Okay, so we can go to the side. We can kind of look up and down, but they are separate controls. They're not on the mouse. And we have a center the view key. But anyway, I thought we would wander through Daggerfall and speculate a bit about what Bethesda might be doing at E3. And it's actually been kind of nice. Oh, here we go. Tutorial lesson 2. Before you brave the depths of Privateer's Hold, you will want to arm yourself. Either click on the bag icon inventory or press the F6 key. Clicking on the weapon puts it in your hand. Now you are able to draw your weapon. Click on the exit button to go back to the game. Hint, you can have 2 weapons equipped. Press the H key to switch back and forth between them. Click yes to continue and no to cancel the tutorial. You know what? We're going to cancel the tutorial just so we can be talking. Let's see what we have here. I did learn this. If we want to see what something is, if we're just in equip here, we just put the weapon on. We don't actually see what it is. If we click on info, we can see this is an iron claymore, 0 to 16. Iron longsword, 0 to 14. Ebony dagger. I actually have an ebony dagger? Oh my. Oh my. Boy, I wish I'd have known that. I would have taken short blade. Important safety tip. If they ask you if you want an ebony dagger, take short blade. Okay. And let's see. This should bring us into combat mode. And that sounds like a rat. Now, we will probably die a lot. And you swing your right mouse button to attack. And it seems like I'm moving slow. It's not the speed of the PC. It's actually the speed of my character, because my speed is only 55. If it got to 100, it would flash across the screen, which is kind of cool. Let's see what we have here. 58 gold. Eodoric. I'm not sure. I think that's just kind of clothing. And a steel broadsword. So we will take that. And that is exactly what that was. And that. And then we'll kick that off and find our shirt. Hey, we have a torque too. Look at us go. What does it do? Anything? No, it's just kind of worth 120 gold. That's not too bad though. Yeah, so, you know, Bethesda kind of got my attention with Arena, but they really kind of sealed me as wanting to follow them with this game, with Daggerfall. I absolutely loved Daggerfall. Come on. Come on, hit the bat. There we go. And yeah, it may, you know, take some getting used to looking at now. At the time, I don't remember it looking bad. We're gonna go down here to rest because my health is actually the green bar, the red bar is stamina, and then blue is magicka. Okay, and we will, I think it's kind of a little bit safer to rest for a while than it is to go fully healed. Like, you can rest for a longer time. Shortblade Skilled has improved. And, yeah, we've got a rat somewhere. Okay, so then we'll come back over here and rest again. But there was a great deal of imagination, of just ambition in Daggerfall. It was attacked a lot for having random dungeons and random quests that were really kind of just FedEx, go here, do that. But, you know, you could see the intent was to give you a world you could live and play in for a very, very long time. And, you know, if it wasn't for the fact that I had been working so much at the time, I probably would never have stopped. Here is an imp who can't be touched by anything below steel weapons. That is how easy it is to die. And I didn't save at any point, so go me. Info, there's our ebony dagger. Equip. And what is this? Spellbook, maybe. Our torque, no ingredients. Okay, well, once more into the breach, dear friends, once more. We'll close the wall with our English dead. There we go. One rat down. What did we get this time? Only gold. Oh well. I guess I can live without the cool golden armbands. Whoa! I didn't do that, so let's hit that save again. Okay, and off we go. I didn't see any armor skills, or did I miss them? Were they there and I just wasn't paying attention? Giant bat has died. So yeah, the imp here. This is an ebony dagger. It should hit, but he's also got magic. So he's a pushover if you can hit him, but if you only had iron weapons, hitting him is hard. Okay, gotta get this lined up right. And so what do we have here? Yellow berries and 3 gold. So equip. We'll take your berries and your 3 gold, you vicious little imp. I'm not starting up a Let's Play here. I'm not precluding the fact that I may do that, but this is not what this is. This is just us playing around before Bethesda's E3, and me kind of wanting to share my joy with Daggerfall and how I got to be such a fan of Bethesda. You know, in some ways, to me, Morrowind was the first step down. People think, oh, well, Skyrim is kind of dumbed down. It doesn't have stats and classes. To me, that first downgrade was Morrowind, which I think most people have the really glowing ideas of Morrowind because it was their first Elder Scrolls. And don't get me wrong, Morrowind is still an amazing game. But in this game, people react to you by the clothes you wear. If you show up someplace in shabby clothes or armor, people are going to be far less impressed with you than if you actually go out and go shopping and buy yourself some nice clothes and look like you are a person of substance, which is really pretty cool. Equipped. Well, whatever class I've created can wear pretty much anything from the looks of it. Let's take that off. Sure, we can play around with armor. Why not? Heads in the corner. Let's peek around this one. So, people wonder, I think sometimes, why I'm so tolerant, or if that's the right word, why I don't attack the Elder Scrolls like some other folks do. For me, you know, the Elder Scrolls being different is an old thing. It's not a new thing, you know. And for me, this was the really, truly exciting one. Where did you go? Archer just died. Okay, what did our archer have here? Let's see. Steel broadsword, unicorn horn, like you do. Another boots. Another greaves. Another left pauldron. And a helmet. Okay, so we'll grab all the toys. Hey now, don't go crazy with things. Where did our beautiful ebony... That is still our ebony dagger, right? Ebony and iron look similar enough that it's worth checking. Anyway. I'm really eager to see what Bethesda has in store. I'm hoping that they'll at least have something to reveal. For a number of reasons. If they do have... Now, we know that they have 2 new titles. 2 new giant titles, they say. And when they say giant titles, I've heard them... I'm pretty sure they said the biggest games they've ever made. And I'm not entirely sure that's accurate because I don't think it takes into account exactly how big Daggerfall and Arena are. But those are also kind of a technicality. Much of Daggerfall and Arena are procedurally generated, for lack of a better term. Let's save, and then... So that kind of... Well, yeah, they are big, and yeah, they're not exactly handcrafted big. Okay, for a while, let's try 8 hours. And Short Blade Skilled has improved. Can we rest again? Let's save for another 6. Maybe we can top off our health. Okay, and save again. Back up there at the beginning, and off we go. We move a little faster right at the outset, I've noticed. Like right after resting, when your stamina is up at the top there, you do move a little faster. But we were talking about the 2 new titles. So, my personal speculation for the 2 new titles, I think one will be sci-fi, and I'm a little torn. I think the other one may be pre-war Fallout 4, or something similar enough, sort of, let's say, you know, modern or contemporary RPG. Just because I think it's something that, you know, could be interesting, something that hasn't been done too much. There are RPGs with guns, but there aren't many that I would call, you know, kind of contemporary. Sort of in the, like, secret world, the Funcom secret world sense. Okay. So... Someone mentioned the other day the scary sound that skeletons make. And I think we're quiet enough that we're not going to blow anybody's eardrums or speakers. So we can go see how loud skeletons are. Okay, first we need to deal with this bat. I love this ebony dagger. Did I mention that I love the ebony dagger? There's a skeleton up here, at least for now. I lost him once when I was doing the other video. You can see where, you know, if you were in your place at night in the dark at 4 a.m., that would be very distressing. Oh, look at all the toys you have. 10 gold pieces, steel longbow, silver warhammer, and arrows. So arrows are something you need to keep track of. And we'll take all the toys, and then we're going to have to go and put all of our other toys back. So we'll put that back. And our beautiful ebony dagger of love. And then we'll go ahead and save. Because if you play Arena or Daggerfall, you're going to die. You're just going to die. Get used to it. That's not exactly the most heartwarming sound. Hi, bear. That's a bear, by the way. Grizzly bear. Okay, and no treasure. So, aside from just speculating on what the games Bethesda may introduce at this E3, the other important thing to having them at least introduce them is it brings other things that we may want closer. In other words, if they don't announce any new games, you know, either of the two new games, they're not going to announce, aside from maybe just to say, yes, we're working on the Elder Scrolls 6, or yes, we're working on Fallout 5. Unless they worked out another deal with a group like Obsidian to do something like New Vegas, where it's not them but someone else, I don't see them themselves opening up another Fallout front, let's say. They did say that these two new games were totally new IPs, so that might actually mean that it's not Fallout 4 pre-war unless they just consider the pre-war world a new IP. Anyway, let's save here and go over that save, and we'll go for, let's try 9. Medical skill has improved and short blade skill has improved. One of the reasons I didn't actually have videos ready and the Khajiit video is titles on black backgrounds is I have a sore throat at the moment and it's starting to catch up with me. But my goal is to get us out of the dungeon because I want to actually show you the exterior map of Daggerfall, and I guess we could just dash out. I know the exit now. Well, let's make a stab at it, at just getting out. Not to end the video necessarily right away, but just so I can give you that idea of compass, how big Daggerfall is, even if it is procedurally generated. Okay, so to give you a general idea of how big things are, there are rooms back there. This dungeon is actually a fairly good size and not entirely fair in its disposition of enemies. Let's take a peek back here. I thought there might be somebody in there, but there is something in here. Let's see what we have. Oh, not quite close enough. There we go. What do we have here? We have a holy dagger worth 2,500 gold and 72 gold. Okay. Did I mention that when I played Daggerfall before, I owned several, like, houses, at least one of which could have been deemed a mansion, and houseboat slash yacht of luxury. Let's take a look in this room just for fun. Oh, hello. That is an orc. And if we did not have an ebony dagger, I think we would be on the floor right next to him. An elven saber. Interesting. 3 gold leather greaves. I don't know if this is +3, +1. That is a better helm. Okay. Okay, it kind of just throws it. I think you can get a horse and wagon, and you know, in the past we've talked about how nice it would be in Fallout 4 if you just had like a vehicle or a wagon, a donkey and a wagon to throw your stuff in. Daggerfall does that. The game has some truly, you know, ahead of its time features, and I think it's just often overlooked. There's this kind of, you know, common wisdom thought that, oh, Daggerfall sucked, but if you can run it, if you know, weren't trying to run it on a toaster back in the day, and you had patience, because it could take patience, like just trying to get to this lever around this throne. Oh, you know what, let's just try it. If you could get by all of that, there was really a truly amazing game to be found here. I think this will lead us out. Go up, past the rat. Come on, ebony dagger. Don't fail me now. Okay. Let's save. But if you could get by the limitations of Daggerfall, if you could get it to run, the systems within were just astonishing in their day. And looking back at it now, they're really not any less astonishing. I think that might be an imp. Yeah, it's an imp. We'll try and flip him through the wall. Okay, we saved versus spell. That's awesome. Okay, we're not getting around that banner. Imps down. Rats down. Sweet, because this room leads to the exit. Okay, there is a skull. And, oh, you know what? We could check the imp's body. Imps do carry loot. 1 gold piece. Well, you know. That mansion ain't buying itself. Okay, that was a weird sound, I gotta admit. Horses passed this way recently, and I did not catch that second phrase. But this is the outside world of Daggerfall. And you can walk, I believe, like you're in an arena, you can walk contiguously from one side to the other. But how big is it? How can you tell how big it is? Well, this is the overall. So here's Daggerfall. This is part of, I think, Hammerfell. This is Daggerfall's province. Just a portion of Daggerfall. So let's knock out. These are filters, so everything is on. Dungeons, temples, and homes. These are the towns. Every dot that you see still on the map some of them look like taverns, I think. So if we wanted to see dungeons, here are the dungeons. I can't really figure out where the point of pointing is, but dungeons, temples, homes, and towns. Turn it all on, and that's one. Oh, that's a close-up. Neat. Trying to get back out to the overall view. So that was this portion. Come over here. Kick it all off. And something stayed in the middle. Interesting. Dungeons, temples, homes, and towns. This game is massive. And it's really impressive. Remember when I said I had a houseboat kind of thing? Mine was down here in Hammerfell somewhere. But I think you could use it to get across. So let's say we wanted to go to the city of Daggerfall. Well, how will we achieve that? We can come here and say find Daggerfall. And it shows me, and then it asks me if I want to travel. I say yes, and now this is my fast travel options, right? I can choose to travel cautiously or recklessly. We'll go cautiously. Foot horse or ship. It doesn't really matter. I don't have any of them. This is if I want to stay at inns during the night or camp out. We'll camp out. Here's the cost. If we want to stay at inns, it'll take 8 days and 40 gold. If we camp out, it'll take 9 days and no gold. And I only have 281. So then I say begin. And you are entering Daggerfall. And we got some skill ups while we were out. And there are folks. We can put our sword down. If we want to see what time it is, we can click on the compass here. We are in Daggerfall. It is 6:14 in the AM. I think it goes on a 24-hour clock. So that's why there's no AM on the 14th of Morningstar. In the eyes of the law of Daggerfall, I am a common citizen as opposed to a criminal, which you may have noticed in my character creation. I have a tendency to become over time. And sign here pointing out Daggerfall. I honestly am crazy excited that Daggerfall works. The last time I tried it, I couldn't get it to work right. And so I am very, very excited to have it back and functional. And I'm really, truly excited to see what Bethesda is going to have in store for us on their pre-E3 presentation, which, as I'm making this video, well, when the video goes up, it'll be tomorrow from that day. So if you're seeing the video much later, everything should have happened by now. But, yeah. Let me know in the comments what you think we might see at the presentation tomorrow. And if you have enjoyed our excursion through Daggerfall, it may yet come to pass. I have some ideas, but let's take a look at the store here. Incense and soft music soothe your nerves as you cross the threshold. Each item in this shop is carefully mounted and displayed. Not the slightest defect can be detected in any item within. So if you come into a shop in Daggerfall, you can talk to the person and they can repair an item, they can talk to you, they'll buy things from you. So if I wanted to, say, sell this iron claymore, I could go over to select, I can sell that, I can sell these, what is this, iron longsword, we'll sell that, and you can see what the value I have over here is 542. This is my gold 281. If I say sell, he tells me, well, you know, he's going to give me, I'll give you the price I only offer to my closest friends and family. Market value of that is much less, but I think I can give you 148 gold, because he's not very kind, and we're not very good at mercantile skills yet. But if you notice, he doesn't have a buy option. That is because to buy, you do what you would do in a store. You come to the cabinets, you come to the shelves, and you can see here a small cart to go with your horse. Like I said, you can have a horse and wagon, and you can throw your items in it. What I used to do when I played Daggerfall is I would run around at night with my horse and wagon and loot these shops, and then come back in the morning and sell things to them, because it was fun and I was wealthy. Well, after doing that, I was anyway. So each shelf has a different stock because of the type of store. It's going to be somewhat similar. So there'll always be the horse and wagon, but there will be other things as well. And there are clothing stores and inns and, you know, pawn shops, all kinds of stores and fun places. And much like Arena, which we haven't looked at really in any sort of depth either, if you want to know where something is, well, first off, because I went into the store, it wrote out its name on my mini-map here. I can do that as well. I can put in a note to say, hi, and it'll just appear on the mini-map there. Or I could come and ask this person, hey, you know, where is the nearest inn, let's say? And you can choose the tone of, you know, your conversation. You want to be normal, blunt, or polite. Let's be polite. Hail to thee, I'd appreciate your directions to the King's Ferry. And say, okay, listen, I ain't got time for this. Why don't you just kiss off, Checkers? Okay, so, not that kind of girl. Let's try blunt. And ask about the Black Wolf. Listen, where's the Black Wolf? Of course I know where the Black Wolf is, but I don't want to tell you likes of you. Well, fine, be that way. How about the Red Porcupine? Do you know where that is? Why on Tamriel would you want to know that, Checkers? All right, well, she's not going to be very helpful. But you could get directions, and if they know where something is, they will put it on your mini-map. In Arena, it was based on your location. So if this shop was like the building behind this fella in green, and I asked him, where's the nearest store? If that building was a store, he would say, okay, here's the store, and put it on the mini-map. In Daggerfall, if they know personally where the place is, they will put it on your map, no matter where in the city it is, which is kind of interesting. But let's see, I think we have a tavern over here. And we can go inside and take a look at what's going on in yon tavern of Davernness. So here it looks like our innkeeper. We can get a room, buy food and drinks or talk. I wonder if she also... Oh no, I thought she might sell drinks. But, you know, you have other things you can talk about. Location, people, things, work. Anyway, my throat is actually really starting to hurt. So I hope you enjoyed our little stroll through Daggerfall. I thought as we approach E3 of 2017 and Bethesda's pre-E3 presentation, it might be fun to look back on the past as we did with our Khajiit retrospective, our Extreme Khajiit makeover. But yeah, so we had a little bit of chance to wander around the likes of Daggerfall, which probably looks a whole lot better if you're watching this on your cell phone. But you know what? It doesn't take too long, but you get kind of used to it. All right, so depending on how things go with the presentation, may have another video back tomorrow, or maybe Fallout 4 will be late. I might miss tomorrow. Depends on how bad this sore throat really gets. Either way, I would like to thank you guys for hanging around and watching our stroll through an older RPG. I would also like to point out that if you look in the upper right-hand corner, you will see a small letter I with a white circle around it. These are cards and links to other videos that I've made. Also, I have a Twitter link in the description of the video and on my channel's main page. If you're on mobile, it'll be on my channel's About page. I would like to thank you guys for being the best community out there. Truly, you guys are awesome, and you make this an absolute joy to do, and I really have fun sharing these things with you, and I really want to thank you for that. I would also like to thank you for watching. I hope you found the video informative and maybe just a little entertaining. I would like to invite you to subscribe, like, and to share if you so desire, and to ask you, above all, to please take care.